tough questions. Finding who's accountable. 16 WAPT News at 10 starts now.
Rankin County investigators discover a body that could be related to a missing persons case. We'll tell you how investigators found it coming up.
2 bodies found in a home days after they were gunned down. What neighbors are saying about this stunning crime.
Now you see just how powerful tornadoes are as it picks up big rigs. We have the latest about injuries and damage from Texas.
And a triple threat Tuesday primary. Who won Maryland, Wisconsin, and D.C.
Now, your weather first.
All right now, here's live storm showed 16 Doppler radar. What's left of the thunderstorms, and they are weakening, are moving out of South Mississippi into Louisiana. Still some strong storms around Hattiesburg, but the rain ending through most of central Mississippi. All right, this is the outflow of the storms earlier in the day in northeast Texas. Remember when I say outflow, it's the push of cooler thunderstorm air, and these thunderstorms are rumbling across the Arklatex now. It looks like it's headed right for us, but remember, we had all this rain, so the air has stabilized over central Mississippi, and these storms will actually work their way southward across the western half of Louisiana. That low is spinning over there, and it will eventually kick to the east, so there's still more rain and storms in the forecast. Over to the maps. Here's what we're looking at for tomorrow. More thunderstorms with downpours, possibility of hail, strong winds, and 1 or 2 tornadoes, and some of the strongest storms cannot be ruled out, especially tomorrow afternoon and evening. I'll spell it all out. The weather remains active for a little longer, and I'll have your Easter forecast too coming up.
Thank you, David. New at 10, investigators believe they may have found the body of a missing Rankin County woman. Right now, sheriff's deputies are working to remove it from a shallow grave in Brandon.
The crime scene is located off Andrew Chapel Road. As 16 WAPT's Aaron Kelly reports, the body was discovered after an investigator noticed something out of place.
Several agencies have been out here since about 5 o'clock this afternoon, including the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, the Rankin County Sheriff's Office. They've been working very carefully to remove a body that was found just beyond that trailer. The front yard of this Brandon home on Andrew Chapel Road became the staging area for a crime scene investigation Tuesday. Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey says he believes a body found in a shallow grave could be that of a Pelahatchie woman in her 50s who's been missing since Friday.
One of the leads did lead them here that she had been here sometime throughout the weekend, and that's how we ended up right here.
Bailey says the woman's car was found burning off Highway 80 on Sunday, the same day Pelahatchie police reported her missing. Rankin County deputies joined the search Monday.
While they were interviewing the occupant of the home, one of the investigators noticed some brush had been beaten down and followed a little trail in the woods.
Craig Brower lives down the road from the home and says he thought emergency vehicles were responding to storm damage.
I thought a tree was down because of all the bad weather.
Power lines or something. I didn't know what was going on. That's horrible to find out something like that.
Gives me the chills. That's horrible.
Bailey says they're still working to identify the body and interview suspects in the case of the missing woman. He credits good police work with helping that investigation.
He just saw something that looked out of place and followed it up.
The Rankin County Sheriff says they could be in for a very long night out here. They've been dealing with some difficult weather situations, and they don't want to disturb any evidence that could be near that crime scene. In Brandon, Aaron Kelly, 16 WAPT News.
Sheriff Bailey says he does not believe the person living at that home where they discovered the body knew it was there.
Hinds County deputies have a mystery on their hands after they found a man and woman dead in their home. Barbara Raines and Robert Varnum were shot to death at a home on Highway 27 near Utica. Deputies say someone stopped by that home around 12:30 today and noticed a strong smell. Investigators have not revealed how Raines and Varnum knew each other. Neighbors say they did not know them, but now they're on guard.
It don't make me feel good at all because I'm here all day by myself, but I keep all my doors locked, and I do have a gun ready to shoot if necessary.
The sheriff's office says the victims had been dead for several days. If you have any information about the cases that you just saw, call Crime Stoppers tonight at 601-355-TIPS.
A second pedestrian that was hit by a fleeing driver Friday on the Interstate 55 frontage road has died. Police say Powell Calhoun was pushing the wheelchair of Donna Williams when they were hit. The crash killed Calhoun instantly. Williams was taken to UMC. She died there this morning. Jackson police say a Hinds County grand jury will decide if criminal charges should be brought against the driver, 50-year-old Ling Lu. Right now, he's only charged with leaving the scene of another accident.
Right now, it's just we need to determine whether or not there was any contributing factors of the driver. You know, it could have been he was down a blind spot and just didn't see him like he said. You know, he said he was going to turn right and go back. He realized that he had backed into a car and he wanted to go back, and that's a driver's story right now.
Winstead says they're awaiting toxicology test results, and then the case will be handed over to a grand jury to decide if charges should be filed in that wreck. Lou is charged with leaving the scene of the accident at the Big Lots. The cleanup continues in Dallas after a pair of tornadoes hammered the Lone Star State this afternoon.
Yeah, cameras captured some amazing images of that powerful tornado tearing apart. That's a truck right there, and that's at a truck storage area. The destructive wind tossed around those big rigs just like toy trucks. The twisters tore roofs from homes and knocked down power lines. Dozens of people were injured in the storms.
Amazing that we're still living. Terrible. I got into the closet with my animals. Thank God the kids were not at home today. It looks like a disaster area. It felt like a Iraq, Baghdad. It's indescribable. Indescribable.
Well, those storms damaged 100 aircraft at DFW International Airport. 400 departing flights were canceled, including ones to Jackson Evers International Airport. All flights are grounded through tonight.
A big night for Mitt Romney after 3 more wins for the Republican nominee for president. Romney took the Wisconsin, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. primaries. Romney already had a wide delegate lead over his nearest rival, Rick Santorum. The former Massachusetts governor got all 16 delegates in the District of Columbia and at least 28 in Maryland. He took all 42 delegates in Wisconsin.
And thank you to Wisconsin, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. We won them all.
Tuesday's contests marked the midway point in the race for convention delegates. Here is a look at the latest delegate count. Romney has 618, Rick Santorum 272, Newt Gingrich 135, and Ron Paul 51. 1,144 delegates are needed for the Republican nomination.
A Madison man had to be rushed to the hospital after nearly drowning. Family members called 911 after finding 51-year-old Rusty Van Reeves unresponsive. The quadriplegic was in a pool. Crews began CPR and Reeves was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Madison police are investigating.
A Greenville mother has been sentenced to life in prison for killing her son. Terry Robinson pled guilty Monday to murdering her 3-year-old son, Tristan Robinson. Prosecutors say Tristan's body was found inside the electric oven at his mother's apartment back in March of last year. Tristan died from heat injuries after being placed in that oven.
Jackson police say they're close to sending the investigation into a JSU student, Nolan Ryan Henderson's death, to the grand jury. They'll look at the audio statement from an eyewitness at the pool party where a bullet struck and killed Henderson. Yesterday, 16 WAPT obtained that exclusive audio tape sent to police. You hear Howard Nelson explaining what he claims he saw the night the JSU freshman was beat up, allegedly by several Jackson State football players. The district attorney told us how the grand jury will handle a case like this.
This is a neutral body of people who can listen to the facts and make a determination as to what's appropriate, and that's why the grand jury is important.
Jackson police say this case is still under investigation, but again, it has not been turned over to the grand jury just yet. Tonight, 3 local colleges came together to urge students to stop the violence and hatred. This comes following 2 shooting deaths at colleges in Mississippi. Millsaps College hosted the event with Jackson State and Tougaloo College. Speakers at that indoor rally acknowledged the deaths of JSU freshman Nolan Ryan Henderson and also MSU student John Sanderson. Students who attended say rallies make a huge difference.
What I hope they would do is encourage students to want to stand up for those injustices and make our voices heard, because we are the ones who run our campuses. It's not just administration. We have a loud voice, and it's up to us to encourage our friends when behind the scenes to kind of calm down. Certain situations does not need certain strong acts of violence.
Folks at the rally also condemned the killing of Trayvon Martin, the Florida teen who was gunned down by a Neighborhood Watch volunteer.
A woman who says she was pistol whipped by a robber is dishing out thank yous to a restaurant worker tonight. The woman has asked us to conceal her identity. She says after getting to her car with her boyfriend last Tuesday in a Bellhaven area restaurant, 2 men approached them with a gun. Now, one of the men hit her in the face while the other took her purse and ran. The woman says a worker at a nearby restaurant drove after the crook and helped police catch him.
My boyfriend was yelling for police and ran towards the restaurant when there was people. And I'd like to say a personal thank you to Jeff Strickland, who works at Kiefer's, who pursued them in his car, who I've yet to think in person, because that's why he caught one of them.
Very brave. The victim plans to go back to that restaurant and personally thank the people that helped her. Jackson police arrested 2 men, DeMonte McCrae and DeMarcus Jefferson. Both are charged with armed robbery.
A controversial immigration enforcement bill died in the legislature when it was not brought up for a vote. Chairman Hob Bryan says he did not bring the bill into consideration because he believes it attempts to micromanage the way law enforcement officers do their job. Some House members are trying to revive immigration enforcement by putting it into other bills that are alive. Governor Phil Bryant says he's disappointed the bill died, saying the issue is about rule of law.
Well, the Jackson Public School District is getting close to selecting a new superintendent. District officials have announced its 2 finalists. They are Dr. Dennis L. Carpenter, Deputy Superintendent for Operations for the Newton County, Georgia School System. Also, Dr. Cedric Gray, Superintendent of Schools for the Fayette County, Tennessee School System. Both candidates will be in Jackson for additional interviews and community events on April the 11th. Oh boy, opening day for the Mississippi Braves is just 2 days away.
On Thursday, the M-Braves kick off the season against the Mobile Bay Bears at Trustmark Park. Earlier today, crews were getting the field and stands ready for the players and fans. The team is excited about the 2012 season that will feature some young superstars.
We just got our roster and found out that we've got quite a few number of Braves prospects, high prospects in the organization coming here this year, so that's exciting.
Thursday's home opener is at 7. The M-Braves homestand will continue until April 14th. The M-Braves will play 70 home games this season.
Downtown at Dusk is returning to Jackson. This is video from the events in September at the Old Capitol Inn. The popular social gathering kicks off on Thursday, April the 12th from 5 until 8 p.m. at Underground 119. Once a month, Downtown at Dusk will be held at a different Jackson hotspot. It's a chance to network, hang out with friends, and enjoy some music and great food. Admission is free. Food and drink is offered for a couple of bucks.
New information has emerged about a motive in the deadly school shooting in California. What police say drove the suspect to violence.
And it looks like a movie poster, but authorities are treating it as real. The warning tonight about Al-Qaeda hitting the Big Apple again.
All right, weather winding down tonight. Here are your threats for tomorrow. Highest threats of any kind of severe weather is very heavy rainfall, which could cause poor drainage, flooding. High wind gusts. There are some low threats of tornadoes and hail, but they will exist, especially tomorrow afternoon. We'll nail everything down next. You're watching 16 WAPT News.
16 WAPT, the station finding who's accountable. Awarded Best Newscast by the Associated Press.